Hello everyone, I'm Hongyi in Team 6. Today, I will walk you through our final project, Modeling Housing Market Response to Wildfires. In this work, we investigate how wildfire exposure affects housing prices in California, and how we can use machine learning models to predict these impacts more accurately. So why study wildfires and housing prices? In California, wildfire risks are rising quickly due to climate change. Disasters like 2018 campfire causes over 16.5 billion in losses. Past studies show that home prices can drop 10% to 23% after a nearby fire, but the effects vary across time and space. However, most housing validation models don't consider forward-looking welfare risk, which leads to mispricing. We ask four key questions. The first one is, does welfare exposure impact housing prices? The second is, are the effects temporary or long-term? The third is, do some communities suffer more than others? And the fourth is, can machine learning help us predict post-fire price changes? For our data and scope, we studied data from 2012 to 2023 to avoid the 2008 housing crisis and focus on recent climate-driven trends. Our data covers about 83% of California and includes more than 13 million housing units. We use data from two main resources: the American Community Survey for Demographics and the California FRAP datasets for welfare history. Our features include number of fires per year, per area percentage, fire duration, as well as community level income, education risks, and poverty rates. The goal is to build a machine learning model that not only predicts housing prices, but also evaluates whether these predictors are fair and consistent across communities. So in our first experiment, we test whether including welfare features improve prediction. The answer is yes, but only for advanced models. For example, simple linear regression showed that almost no improvement when welfares were added, but XGBoost, a more complex model, showed clear gains. This tells us that welfare effects are real but often nonlinear, so they require flexible modeling. We also use shape values to understand feature importance, and the plot is shown on the right. Welfare history still contributes about 14% of the model predictive power. And in summary, welfare data helps improve prediction, but only when using advanced models like XGBoost. These features are important, but not the main drivers. Economic variables still dominate. We also find that welfare exposure is generally linked to a slowdown in home price growth. This effect is more noticeable in areas recently hit by fire. Overall, including fire data makes our forecasts more realistic in a changing climate. And in our experiment 3, we want to know whether welfare effects extend beyond burned areas. We divided tracks into 4 groups based on their distance from fire: directly affected, very close, close, and far. When compared prediction performance across these groups, results showing that model performance is the best in direct affected areas, which is easy to understand. As distance increases, RMC and MAE rises while R² falls. And here is a summary of the performance of experiment 3 and some key results. Affected tracks has the best results with the lowest RMC and highest R². Very close and close neighbors showed worse model performance. However, there was no significant difference between close and far neighbors, suggesting the spillover effect weakens beyond 10 kilometers. This means that when wildfire effects spread to nearby regions, the model may miss more complex long-distance impacts, possibly due to the way we measure distance or lack of context in the data. And from this experiment, we conclude that welfare effects do extend beyond fire zones. The model accuracy decreases for nearby areas, confirming short-range spillover. But after 10 kilometers, performance does not get significantly worse. This shows that the model captures localized effect well, but misses long-range or indirect impacts. Future models could improve by adding more detailed geographical or structured data to capture these hidden patterns. As a conclusion, we have four main takeaways. First of all, adding welfare data improves housing price forecasting. R-square increased from 0.86 to 0.896, and fire features make up 14% of total importance. Second, our model had trouble predicting price drops, but we fixed this using a two-stage method with classification and regression. Thirdly, welfare effects spread geographically. Prediction accuracy declines, not only in fire-affected areas, but also in nearby tracts. Finally, we found four fairness concerns. The model has higher errors in majority, white, and middle income areas, suggesting potential inequality risks. So in our future work, we aim to improve geographical resolution and fairness awareness to promote more responsible forecasting in climate risk modeling, which will be really meaningful. That's all for my presentation. Thank you very much.